It's MJ. How are you? My God, this week has been so wild, and I'm having a lot of inspirational downloads about Alta Love and a shift in focus, like a shift in perspective. Obviously, a couple days ago, I shared about stepping off of social media, and I've only really been checking about once a day. And what's amazing to me is actually the amount of additional time I feel I have, and I'm more acutely aware of this like online entrepreneur conveyor belt. So like it's really just systematized living, masked as something else. And if some of you guys know my history, like pursuing an acting career in the entertainment business and or entertainment industry, and going through those sort of loops and then getting to this point of like this undercurrent of seeking and desperation, and basically really feeling that. So addressing that within myself, that seeking energy, that that loop of addictive tendency of checking things. And also what I'm recognizing is just the disparity in human connection. I gotta say, for whatever reason, I just resonate more still with YouTube as a platform for sharing. And just suddenly, instantly, something just completely shifted with me with Facebook. And even this morning, like having a check, and I guess I'm still maybe rationalizing business, this, that, or the other, but part of me sharing this platform with you guys is like sharing my process, my thought process around it all, and doing a bit of research about the underlying sort of next tier manipulation, programming, fear tactic, convoluted messaging, and then this sort of bizarre thing of like it's never what it seems, it's never just what it looks like, and for me, when it gets to that point of like it's not what it looks like, and suddenly like perspective shift, for me my natural inclination is to totally step back and totally withdraw. And having done that in the last week, I'm acutely aware of the that addictive urge, this like underlying like what next, and maybe this thing's gonna happen, this thing's gonna happen, and then seeing the disparity of seeking in my own reality, and how subtle it is that we can make excuses. Well, I work online, so therefore I should be online all the time, and that's not quite right. Actually, I create content, and this is part of the creation, but I know for me a deeper drop is that I become more clear, so that I'm creating better quality videos for you guys and better quality content for you guys. And for my own sanity, just not really engaging with the social media platform, because something I was aware of just before exiting was like this sort of endless stream of mental diarrhea, for lack of a better word. And especially in this time, and the way our awareness can just be perpetually kind of blaming and attacking one another for whatever it might be, there's a deeper drop happening, or a more expansive wave happening in the collective, where there's a simplicity in grounded practicality. And yeah, for me, it's like just get really clear on the message, and not to make anybody feel bad, not to make anybody feel wrong or bad about being on social media, or about watching TV, or eating meat, or eating cheese or eggs, or eating or buying clothes. It's like not making people feel bad, but very gently peeling veils and then offering solutions, right? So offering solution is often having a supportive community to help you through the changes, and to recognize, certainly I could probably reflect back to you guys something that a lot of you guys know of already, but there's like infinite information rabbit holes. Last night I was thinking as well, like wormhole, like, you know, in wormhole and infinite space is just this like black hole of, I think wormholes are actually like gateways to different universes and dimensions. And so in truth, a rabbit hole, an information rabbit hole, is like our own infinity wormhole taking us down into different dimensions. And you know, I guess this urge for me to share with people is that you can go down any infinite number of wormholes. But if you're really just looking for your own contentment and your own ability to enjoy this life, it's inside you. Like, it's your ability to connect to a sense of self and to connect to a broader imagination that isn't necessarily like in front of you or sold to you through various media platforms, but it's in you, it's in your beingness. Like, I guess there was something in me that always knew that I wanted to share stuff that I perceived about this reality, because I did always have a vision of seeing myself speaking, but for many, many years, I didn't connect the dots. I couldn't see that path, nor was I able to actually speak sometimes in a way that people could understand, because a lot of my journey was people ridiculing me for my ideas. And so it's like, okay, I wasn't putting it across properly. I wasn't a clear enough channel at that time. And yet, I guess being ridiculed and being made fun of for my out there quirky ideas has actually been part of my journey and part of humility. And I guess maybe even like a modesty and a vulnerability, because like, I don't know, and I don't have answers for people. It's just like this inner knowing of our evolution, of our like raising up as a energy field in a perceived reality, and that the suffering and the pain and the violence that I witnessed and I observed growing up was so painful that it's like the polarity is the opposite. It's become as peaceful as possible. It's become as loving as possible. And again, it's like this weird path of being shut down and ignored and silenced and told that you're just a dumb girl, or that like you're stupid for thinking this, that, or the other. That almost builds up this kind of fierce resilience. And like, what I try to put across to people is like, invoking fucking unconditional love into your life is painful, because everything in you that's not love, and that means potentially shit your grandparents had that you're gonna have to deal with because you're the carrier, and if you believe in all the past life stuff, you still got to integrate all of those random fragmented timelines, and you still have to like be present. And like, so much of this, like, literally, guys, was just, it's all just presence. It's all just us being here now for one another. And I'm amazed in this last cycle how many of realities how many aspects I've created to reflect back to me where I'm still seeking. You know, people telling me what to feel or telling me what to do, and I'm thinking, okay, that's feedbacking to me. I'm still seeking validation, and I'm still seeking some kind of external recognition, which I know isn't like the truth of my heart, and it's not and like, oh my god, see, emotion. And I'm having this simultaneous recognition of like letting go of mega lifelong patterns, like literally pattern loops, memories from early childhood that I didn't even know I had, and then the recognition of that birthing manifestation from early childhood. So like the innocence and curiosity, the playfulness, like for me, I'm just so sinking into this gentleness of like, all it is like being outside, relating to nature, relating more innocently and curiously and in awe of the world around. And then like just dropping into a knowing and a peacefulness, and that's it. And everything else comes in naturally. You don't have to seek your world. That's the weirdest, biggest illusion. Anytime we're looking for it out there, we're actually like chasing our tail. And I think part of my vulnerability today is a little bit of embarrassment of like putting a message out there and then realizing that I'm still like chasing myself and I'm still chasing my own fucking tail, and like, oh, I'm an online entrepreneur and da da da, and then being like, like smack across the face, like all these games are happening and you're just being swept up in the game. And then weirdly just suddenly going, I need to step out of this game, and then seeing myself in it and making a choice, like, do I want to be that person? Is that pattern, is that really serving me? Is that really actually serving all to love even? No. The reason I'm still on YouTube is simply because it still resonates with me, and I use YouTube quite differently, and YouTube has a platform. Oh, hey, Pepe. How are you? I saw someone there. Yeah, I feel there's a general more equilibrium on YouTube as far as a deciphering and a discernment of information, perhaps because of the way people put the videos out there and how people create content to be kind of shared on YouTube, where the Twitter, I've never actually been on Twitter formally. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, there's like this this like mental diarrhea, and then this and there I'm like, this is the thing of like, early days when Facebook first started, it was like MySpace and then Facebook, and I went on it, but I was pretty broken, and I think I lasted maybe a year, if that, on Facebook back in 2006, I think, or 2007. And I went off of it because I got depressed, like the classic fucking social envy thing. And then I went back on in 2011 because a friend started a business and I offered to help. And I got back on to promote yoga classes and to promote a new business, because it was like, take charge of my life and be proactive and try to get my shit together. So I was literally taking all the advice I could get about pioneering a business online and promoting myself online, because we didn't have money for other marketing, right, or other advertising. And she was a new business. So, and that kind of worked for a while. And it's only recently I've had a very distinctive shift of weird. For me personally, all of my clients have come from YouTube or person to person or word of mouth. I've been finding over the last few months, I've naturally been engaging less. So I'm finding myself like on like a rat race conveyor belt, posting because I have to post and that's my job or whatever. But then wanting to engage less and less on it. Like even though, for me personally, guys, and this is where even in the Fearless Life Guide, I have this like thing about social media of like, you can kind of navigate social media in a way so that you're literally bombarded only by positive messages. And that's not an issue, because I do have that. Like, even for the last like couple years, whenever I go into Facebook or I could easily just fall away or like unfollow posts that I just thought were not useful to me. But like, even the recent months, it's all been positive, it's all inspirational, but it's not that I'm addressing here. It's not the fact that there's a lot of good, because there is a lot of good in our social media platforms as far as globalizing connectivity. But for somebody who is really like deeply committed to a new paradigm beingness, like being the change and being the way, I can sense for my like heart and for my well-being and for my sanity, I need to be more grounded in the reality of my being, which means that this is a fantastic way. And I love, Pepe, that you're just like, hey, what's going on? Because I do actually feel connected to you via the internet wherever you are in the world, right? And that is beautiful. But I know that there was something, again, this unconscious seeking, this like seeking recognition, seeking validation. See how it makes me feel the tears, because it's embarrassing. And this is part of the work of owning our shit. And I guess why I just so honestly want to share is like, I think a lot of people do it and we try to pretend that we're not doing it. Like I could try to pretend I'm too cool to seek recognition and validation or to seek support and love, but like, yeah, it's still active and I'm increasingly aware of it. And all I can say is that I'm addressing it, like I'm addressing various other coping mechanisms, and then still letting lots of painful patterns come out in emotional healing and making changes and letting go of people and letting go of just seeking validation, recognition, any of it, and like just dropping into this gooey creative space within myself and just letting that kind of creativity just continue to overflow, because that's the genuine, I would say, gift of our hearts, that we just have this creative flow to keep sharing to one another. And that's like what I desire. It's just important for me to step away from all the other, because there's so like multi-layered in how the energies kind of affect us, and then our ability to actually just be clear with one another. So yeah, this is just me wanting to be more clear with you guys, and also reclaim my ability to focus for more than like 20 minutes at a time or 40 minutes at a time. I have some writing I need to do, and projects that have kind of, and it's not like I'm not being hard on myself, I'm just sharing like all these planets in retrograde and all of this like mega shifty times for me has been like literally looking over my whole daily life pattern and picking and choosing what works, what doesn't, and looking at the emotional healing that's attached to certain energy flow that's not very efficient for me or not really serving me, and being like, wow, I just got totally swept up in that. And now I've put the brakes on. I'm like, whoa. Like, what am I actually doing with my time? And what messages am I actually putting out there? Because that whole social envy thing, I'm like, I don't want to put some message of like, just be bendy and do lots of yoga and life will be perfect. Because I think that's sometimes what the Instagram feed was doing. Because there was an underlying need in me to be important or special or something. Oh, let's just say this, you guys. So I'm thinking I'm gonna have a little bit of a good cry this morning. Pepe, thank you so much for sticking with me and having a listen this morning and just saying hi. I appreciate it, appreciate you, and looking forward to just engaging in this sort of developing conversation and sharing with you guys more. And my aim and intent, once I drop into this deeper clarity and new kind of cycle, creative cycle for me, to just share better quality content. That's it. That's all it is. It's just better quality for you guys, which requires me to just take a step back. I know. Thank you. Have an awesome day, Pepe. Take care. Bye.